The comeback of the year in the NBA. So you got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, OKC, best team in the league, can't be stopped. Timberwolves, OKC is blowing them out. This, at one point, OKC led by as many as 25. SGA knocks that down. He had 39. But then Tim Legler, with Anthony Edwards on the bench, the Timberwolves just mount a crazy comeback.
Yeah, look, give them credit because they kept playing, and a lot of teams wouldn't have. They probably would have emptied the bench with 3:40 to go. They kept playing, but Oklahoma City greatly contributes to it. Too many fouls, stagnant offensively, and then just a silly play by Alex Caruso right there that allows them to tie the game late.
16-0 run with Anthony Edwards on the bench. The game goes to overtime. OKC down 1. Caruso. Yes, OKC now back up 1 again, but with 30 seconds remaining in the OT and Minnesota down by 1. Look at this crazy sequence, Legs. How many opportunities can you get?
I don't know how Lou Dort comes away with that clean, but then he's unaware as he tries to head up the floor, loses it. Put back here by Reed, and he gets fouled on that.
And makes the foul shot. T-Wolves up by 1, 20 seconds to go. SGA, remember I mentioned Anthony Edwards didn't play the end of regulation? Look at the defense.
It's incredible because he sat out the end of regulation and he stayed with it mentally, and he makes one of the more impactful defensive plays he's made in his career. This is just incredible weak side timing to save the game.
I'm the presumptive MVP, so now it's a 3-point game, and here's SGA to tie it, and it's no good, and oh my God, Minnesota won. They were down, as I mentioned, as many as 25 points and came all the way back on the road to win. Ant winds up with 17 and 13, but his teammates absolutely won this game for him. I mentioned SGA had the 39, but that's a bad loss. OKC, look, still very much in control of the Western Conference. 8 games clear, 8.5 now as we see of the next closest team. Rest is sort of bunched up near the top. But pay attention in that 4 spot to the Lakers. They were in 7th place on January 14th. They're 14 and 4 since. They're just 3 games out of the 2 spot. And in case you missed it, Stephen A. had this to say about the Lakers coming off a 23-point win over Denver over the weekend.
I can't front. The Lakers looked marvelous. When JJ first arrived, we knew it was an upgrade from Darvin Ham offensively, but downgrade defensively. Now we're seeing the Lakers come along defensively in a very, very impressive fashion. And if that continues, oh, there's no telling what they could do in the West. They could make some noise. So I got to stand down, Shay. I got to look at the Los Angeles Lakers and go like this. Yo, these brothers got a chance. They got a chance to legitimately win the West.
Holy smoke. So here we go. The Thunder blow a huge lead and lose. The Lakers have the spotlight game maybe so far of the season with the Mavericks coming into town. Luka against Dallas. Is Stephen A. right?
He's not right yet, but I love that he channeled the Fernando.
Yeah.
They look
Marvelous.
You look marvelous. But they do right now. They did Saturday. They caught everybody's attention. And now, as they already were a compelling watch for the rest of the season just because of the Luka-LeBron dynamic. But now it becomes a matchup thing. And how do they look against certain matchups? You know what I'm looking for, Legs? I am looking forward to seeing J.J. Redick in a playoff series coach. Because if he put that kind of maniacal preparation into that game against Denver, and Denver had been a team, and that place in Denver had been a house of horrors for this Laker team when Anthony Davis was there, and he was like, no, we're going to find a way to win and beat this team. I can't wait to see him coach a 7-game series.
Well, I learned pretty quickly in all the work I was doing with JJ and the collaboration with him on different things, just talking the game. Very few people see all 10 players at the same time like JJ and the details that he's going to see in live action in practice, much less in a film session when you're dialed into one team. Game after game, making those kinds of adjustments, very few people are going to be able to see all of that and incorporate that and communicate that the way that J.J. Redick can.
And I don't want to overreact. They play 82 of these games over the course of a season. What reaction should we have to OKC comfortably in front at home by 25 points and losing a game last night that they lose there? People are looking for ways to suggest they are not invincible or whatever it is. Should we go that far coming off last night?
It's a terrible loss, make no mistake about it. It's one night, it's one game, and it actually is going to be the best thing that's going to happen to Oklahoma City. I'm telling you right now, and you heard Shai talk about it after the game. This is a lesson in not taking your foot off the gas in a game, because this was, sure, Minnesota kept playing, they played hard. A lot of this was Oklahoma City's stagnancy offensively, taking too many threes, which is not in their wheelhouse. They took a ton of threes, and Minnesota went to this sort of hybrid 2-2-1 zone where they were two guys extended, trapping Shea almost at half court, making him give it up early. So I will say, that's something that Mark Dagnall has seen for the first time, and he's probably going, wait a second, this was interesting. They took the ball out of Shea's hands. We ended up with a lot of wing threes. That's not our strength. And it allowed them to come back. So this actually could help Oklahoma City down the stretch. Look, they clearly have been the best team in the Western Conference. Now there's teams coming for them. And the question is, can you narrow the gap with them in time? By the time you get there, clearly the Lakers are one of those teams that are in that conversation. I'm not worried about one blown lead at home in a back-to-back situation against the same opponent. I'm just not.
I'm always looking for angles, though, for a team. What's the weakness? What can we find? And I think maybe that's something that was exploited there a little bit that you'll watch. And also for Shea, close out that game and still get the win, and he couldn't do it. That was a great play by Anthony Edwards, but there were a couple other times he had the ball where there was nowhere for him to go. They bottled him up. And there's always that, hey, maybe we found something here, and keep an eye on this when you get a matchup in the playoffs.
I also am fascinated by the fact that we chose the word impenetrable. Of all the different things, of all the different ways we could have described what the Thunder might not be as a result of last night, we went with, you can't penetrate them? Inevitable, I think was the word. Something like that, one way or another. And look, it's a good word. It tells the story. I understand. I just think it's a fascinating choice. All right, one way or another, we have much more NBA. It's Get Up, hour number 2, live from above the Heineken River Deck at Pier 17. We'll get back to the mock draft and back to the Matthew Stafford of it all in just a moment. But we begin with what might have been the biggest comeback and most stunning result of the NBA season. This is OKC with a 25-point lead last night, legs, at home in a game in which SGA scored 39 and Minnesota sat Anthony Edwards for most of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like Anthony Edwards was going to be done for the night. Minnesota's kept playing. To their credit, Oklahoma City contributed mightily to this situation. But look, Minnesota sensed right here they had a chance to get back in this game and win the game.
Naz Reid, a big part of putting this comeback together. And again, with Edwards watching from the bench, his team goes on a 16-0 run with 15 seconds left in the game. It was McDaniels there forcing overtime. So now we're in the OT. Here's Caruso, up and good. OKC's got a 1-point lead, but a wild sequence with 30 seconds left.
Yeah, this is wild right here. Naz Reid drives. I don't know how Lou Dort comes away with this basketball, but he's got to be more aware they're coming from behind as you head up the court. Now, offensive rebound, Naz Reid. Not a lot of contact there, but he gets a late whistle going to the line down 1.
Makes both. 20 seconds to go. It's a 1-point lead for Minnesota. Here comes SGA. Look at the block from Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, give him credit. Mentally staying with it, despite the fact that, as you said, did not have much to do with the end of the game offensively. Stays with it defensively and makes one of the biggest plays probably of his career on that end.
Minnesota makes 2 free throws, so it's a 3-point game. Here's SGA for the tie, and it's no good. Oh my God, Minnesota won. They were down as many as 25. They go on a 16-0 run without Anthony Edwards. And despite 39 from SGA, Minnesota gets the win. Startling loss for OKC. Now, let's not overreact. The Thunder still very much in control in the West, as you see. But as we start considering what teams might be the biggest threats to them, the Lakers, who will play a monster game tonight, Luka against the Mavs, are suddenly on the come. They were in 7th place on January 14th. They're 14-4 since then. And in case you missed it, Stephen A. had this to say about the Lakers after their big win against Denver over the weekend.
I can't front. The Lakers looked marvelous. When JJ first arrived, we knew it was an upgrade from Darvin Ham offensively, but downgrade defensively. Now we're seeing the Lakers come along defensively in a very, very impressive fashion. And if that continues, oh, there's no telling what they could do in the West. They could make some noise. So I got to stand down, Shay. I got to look at the Los Angeles Lakers and go like this. Yo, these brothers got a chance. They got a chance to legitimately win the West.
A chance to legitimately win the West. Alan Hahn, agree or disagree?
Agree with an asterisk. I think what they've done, especially on Saturday, is they got everyone's attention. They got our attention. We got to see what it could look like, especially when Luka's the quarterback and LeBron James the wide receiver. It's special. But you know what? Who else is paying attention? The whole rest of the league and everybody else they're playing, and everybody else in the West. Because it's a new dynamic that now you have to watch film and adjust and see what you can do to stop them. And the one thing that you know, they're going to want to run, they're going to have to run. They don't have spacers and they don't have size. So that's going to be something to watch. But they have our attention. There's no question you can't count them out because you never, ever bet against LeBron James.
I like the question that's on the screen. Legs, are the Lakers, in your mind, look, the Thunder are I think I'll use the word prohibitive. I mean, they've been clearly the best team since the ball was first thrown up in October. So let's say the Thunder are clearly the favorite. Are the Lakers the biggest threat?
I think I'd have to agree with it now. And look, I think it's actually might be more of an indictment against some of the other teams hovering around the top of the West that they haven't convinced us enough. Denver being the top of that list. They just hit their best stride, right? 9 straight, they're rolling. And then Saturday happens, and they get cold water poured on them, and Jokic completely bottled up, and you're like, and LeBron and Luka look great together, and you kind of go, okay, wait a second. All right, what about the other teams that have hovered around there? Memphis, have they convinced you?
Nope.
Has Houston convinced you that they're quite ready with that super young team? None of those teams have. That's what's opened the door for this conversation, but we needed to see something definitive with the Lakers, and we saw it Saturday. Very small sample. Let's see if the consistency is there. Let's see if they can continue to protect Luka defensively. Let's see if they're big enough at times. Like, all those questions have to be answered. But right now, with what you saw on Saturday, they absolutely deserve the right to be in that conversation as the biggest threat to OKC.
You're saying the West doesn't have a Boston Celtics, so it's open for someone to grab it.
Yes.
Between the Lakers, the moves they made, and Golden State and the move they made, the door's open for one of these veteran teams that have guys who have won championships before. Because all those other teams you're naming, other than Denver, they don't have it in their pocket.
We're talking
Denver's the only team that has that experience.
Right, we're talking about these really young, really good teams. OKC, really young, really good. Are they ready? Houston, really young, really good. Are they ready? Will they bring in the big veteran during the offseason? We'll worry about that when we get to the summer. Could it be that one of these aging legends, in this case, I guess we're talking about LeBron and Steph Curry here, find a way to somehow sneak all the way back to a place we thought we had finished seeing them?
I do want to be clear on something. I'm not including Oklahoma City in that group. They're in a different place. I'm talking
Just 'cause they're
about
so much
to
better.
challenge them.
Understood.
So that's why, to me, Oklahoma City's on a different level than Denver, Houston, Memphis.
Understood.
They just are.
So
So
OKC's best players are also so young.
they're very young.
They're going to have to beat one of them.
They are.
They're going
Right.
to have to slay one of these dragons to get there, though.
I will say I have a different feeling about this Oklahoma City team at the 1 seed in the West than I did last year. Like, last year, even though they had that position most of the season, at no point did you hear me say, yeah, they're going to the finals, they're going to win it. I knew they weren't ready. This team this year has a different feel to me. This looks like the best defensive team I have seen this year consistently night to night. And they're deeper than they've been. The emergence of Aaron Wiggins as like an additional high-powered scorer gives me more belief. So I have a lot more faith in Oklahoma City this year than I did a year ago. But the question is, will it be enough if you catch a hot, blended Lakers team heading into the playoffs? If you have to play that team at some point down the road, all bets are off potentially, but I got to see more out of the Lakers.
I'm with you. OKC is the best team. Of that, there is no debate. The question is just like we see, this is the NBA is a place where you got to sort of keep climbing the ladder and then it becomes your time. Is it their time? We're going to find out in May. In the meantime.
How's it going, everybody? Villa Sports Network here. Just want to thank you guys for your support on the channel. Thank you guys for watching the video. Hope you all enjoyed it. Also want to kindly remind you to don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment on the video if you like as well. But regardless of the fact, thank you again for your support, and hope to see you on the next video.